measuring segments, not with a ruler, but on the number line. Okay. We have 2 postulates today. We've had 4 already. You know, through any 2 points, there's a line, and if 2 lines intersect, then it's a point, and la-di-da-di-da. Those ones didn't really have names, but these 2 do. The ruler postulate states, the points of a line can be put into one-to-one correspondence with the real numbers so that the distance between any 2 points is the absolute value of the difference of the corresponding numbers. So that the distance between any 2 points is the absolute value of the difference of the corresponding numbers. All right, there's my line with its points on it. The ruler postulate says that I can put the points of these lines into a one-to-one correspondence with the real numbers, meaning putting it on a number line. Okay, that's the first part of the ruler postulate. The second part states that you can find the distance between any 2 of these points by taking the absolute value of the difference of the corresponding coordinates. Oh, I can't see that. Got an idea. Okay, so if I want to find the distance, I don't know, let's go from D to K. Ben? Yeah, JC? I don't know. We'll get to that when we need our textbook. We don't need it right now. Okay, Riley, does it have anything to do with what I'm doing up here? Okay, good idea. The lesson. Yes. So you're interrupting the lesson right now. Okay. DK. We want to find the length of DK, or the distance between the 2 points. It says take the absolute value of the difference. What math operation goes with the word difference? Subtraction. Good. Of the numbers that correspond with the endpoints. Well, what number corresponds with D? And how about with K? 5. So the difference of -2 and 5 is what? -7. Good. And the absolute value of -7 is 7. So the distance between D and K is 7. Now you might be able to look at that and just figure it out since it's only between -2 and 5. Or you could even count that. But the ruler postulate states that the distance between any 2 points is always the absolute value of their difference. Why? What does it mean when you do absolute value? What do you get at the end? Why does it have to be positive? Why do I need to put that there? Because why, Rashid? Yeah, but why can't I have a -7? What does 7 represent? The space between them, the distance between them, right? So why the absolute values? Exactly. You can't be -5 feet 6 inches tall. You can't travel a -30 miles, right? Distance, length, has to be positive. That's why you have an absolute value bar there, okay? So if I want to find the distance between, I don't know, C and M, CM. Notice how there's no symbol above it? That means length. When I don't put the symbol above it, I'm talking about the length of CM, or the distance between the 2 points, equals the absolute value of the difference of their endpoints. Well, where is C located? How about M? And the difference between -3 and 7? It's -10. -3 minus 7 more is -10. What's the absolute value? 10. So what's the length of the distance from C to M? 10. Good. Okay, ruler postulate. You can put them on a number line, and then you can find their distance. Segment addition postulate. You will use this one until December, if not longer. It states, if 3 points, A, B, and C are collinear, what's it mean to be collinear? On the same line, and B is between A and C, so you have to have one of them between the other two, then I can say the length of AB, that'd be this first portion, plus the length of BC, the second portion, equals the length of AC, the whole thing. Right? Then that makes sense that this length plus this length would be the whole thing. Like the distance from my head to my knees plus my knees to my feet, wouldn't that be my whole length? Yeah, segment addition postulate. You add 2 segments to make a third one. Okay. All right, a coordinate is a point's distance and direction from 0 on a number line. A coordinate, describes the distance and direction a point is on a number line from 0. So on my number line up here on the smartboard, or the whiteboard, L has a coordinate of 6. Someone describe to me how 6 is telling me the distance and direction from 0. Good, excellent. 6 tells me it's 6 units away from 0, so the number actually tells me the amount away. If it's positive or negative, tells me the direction. Since it's a positive 6, that means I have to move right from 0, go in the positive way. -1 is my coordinate for E, 1 saying it's 1 away from 0, but since it's negative, I have to move left. So a coordinate will always tell you the distance and direction from 0. There's your length again, the ruler postulate. The length of a segment is the absolute value of the difference of its coordinates. Okay? So here I have A at -8, and I have B at 4. If I want to find the length of AB, or the distance between them, you're going to take the absolute value of the difference of their endpoints. Where was A at? Can you see it? -8. Where's B at? What's -8 minus 4 more? Then the absolute value of -12 is 12. So the length of AB is 12, or the distance between the 2 points. Length and distance between 2 points, they're same idea there. Okay. Congruent segments are segments with the same length. Congruent segments, we say, are segments of the same length. That equal sign with the squiggle over the top, that's your congruent symbol. Just like an equal sign is the symbol for equal. You don't write out the word equal. We're no longer going to write out the word congruent. We're going to use the symbol. To be congruent means to be exactly the same. If you have congruent segments, they're the same length. If you have congruent, squares, they're exactly the same size. Same shape, same size. Okay? Congruent angles will be the same measure. Here they have segment AB, which is 2 centimeters, and segment CD, which is 2 centimeters. So below this, I would read this out loud as the length of AB equals the length of CD. No symbol over the top means length. Since they have the same length, then I can also state that segment AB is congruent to segment CD. You don't have to write it all out, you can just use your symbol. these little tick marks here, that's how we show something is congruent to something else. We use tick marks. So you don't have to write out like they're both 2 centimeters. You can just put the tick marks, and I know that they equal each other, that they're congruent. Questions on the word congruent? Riley, what does it mean? Good. All right, and a midpoint is a point that divides a segment into 2 congruent segments. The midpoint of a segment is a point that divides that segment into 2 congruent segments. Segments, it has 2 endpoints, right? A and B or whatever. My midpoint's going to divide it into 2 congruent segments. So if my head was the midpoint of my endpoints, would my head be further to the left side, further to the right side? If it's the midpoint? What? It's in the middle, right? Midpoint. Your midpoint's always in the middle. It cuts the segment into 2 equal segments. It's cutting it in half. Here, I can just look at this and know that B is the midpoint by the markings. Right here, it's telling us that AB is congruent to BC. Well, if this half is equal to this half, wouldn't B have to be right in the middle? Shake your head, yes. Good, all right. Midpoint, right in the middle. It cuts it into 2 congruent segments. Okay, here we go. We're going to do some. Number 1. Find AB and BC. What do they mean, find AB and BC? Find what about them? Like just color them? Bold them on there for us so we know where they're at? Highlight it? Like this, would this work? AB, done, I found it. Are we done? What do I have to find about AB? The length of it. How do we know we have to find the length of it? Because there's no symbol above it. When there's no symbol above it, I'm talking about length, distance. Okay? I have to find the length of AB. How far is it from -4 to -1? 3. Good. You guys, don't make this harder than it has to be. I know at the beginning I was using the absolute value. But if you can see that it's 3, just write 3, right, Ben? Yeah, good. Okay. BC. There it is. What do I have to find about it? Its length. How far is it from -1 to 4? It's 5 away. Good. If you are unsure and the number line is right there, let's go back to first grade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? You can count it too. Kate, is that what you learned in first grade? Good. Are those segments congruent? Why not? Because they're not the same length. This is how you could state this sentence here. Segment AB is not congruent to segment BC. Put a slash through it, and it means not, just like no smoking and no parking, right? This means not congruent to when you put the slash through it. I like complete sentences. This is a complete sentence in math. Cool, huh? Mm-hmm. Jack, you heard him say that, right? All right. Oh, okay. Number 2. If AB equals 25, find the value of x, then find AN and NB. Nick, what do they mean AB equals 25? Yeah, like the whole length of it, right? Good. I'm going to just label my pictures. We have to find the value of x. That probably sounds something like last year in Algebra 1 when you find the value of x. Solve for x, right? which means we have to come up with an algebraic equation to find x. Oh, but we build in math, so everything you did last year we're going to do here. You found it? How did you get that? There's not even an 8 on the paper. You set up an algebraic equation? Okay. Wouldn't AN plus NB equal the whole segment? So then we can say that 2x minus 6 plus x plus 7 equals 25, the whole thing. The left part plus the right part has to be the whole. And now you can use your order of operations. Simplify, combine. What's 2x and x? 3x. How about negative 6 and 7? Positive 1. We already have all the x's on the left, so let's move the numbers to the right. How do we bring 1 over? And 25 minus 1 is divided by 3. Rashid? 24 divided by 3? 8. Good. Are we done? No, why not? Yeah, we have to plug it back in to find the length of AN. We have to use our substitution property. So when I substitute 8 in up here to find AN, you're going to take 2 times 8 minus 6, which is 10. And then plug it in over here, and you get 8 plus 7, which is 15. Do you remember that, like, second day of school, I gave you all those algebraic equations to do? And you could check your answers by doing what? Whoops, this shouldn't be 10, this should be 15. Do that. AN is 10, NB is 15. What's 10 plus 15? Isn't that what we want it to be? Good. All right. Number 2. M is the midpoint of segment RT. We have to find RM, MT, and RT. Brady, what's it mean to be a midpoint? It's in the middle. Good. It's right in the middle of the segment. So, Brady, what would we know about this side and this side? Good. Mark that. Mark them congruent with those little hash marks, tick marks through it. That means the left side, RM, is equal to the right side, MT. Well, if I'm going to have to find the length of each of these, I should probably find the value of what first? X. Good. Yeah, one of the sides, X. Well, what should we do to find the value of X? Emma. Yes, that's exactly what you do. Because what does it mean to be congruent? The same. This side equals this side, right, Brady? Isn't that what you said? Yeah, so if the left side, RM, equals the right side, MT, then set them equal to each other. Then use your algebra skills. Do you want to bring the 5x's to the right or the 8x's to the left? No, I'm asking you. Yeah, I would too, because then your x's stay positive. How do I move 36 over? What's 36 and 9? 45 equals 3x. How do we get rid of the 3? And 45 divided by 3? 15. Good. Sydney, are we done? Good. I'm not done. I got to plug it back in to find these lengths. So substitute 15 in for x over here. Five times 15. 75 plus 9. So RM equals 84. How about MT? How'd you do it so fast? Excellent, Brady. They're congruent. You don't have to plug it back in. It's the exact same length. We also have to find RT. That's the whole segment. How'd you do that, Jack? You added them. Good. The left segment plus the right segment has to be the whole segment. 84 and 84 is 168. All right. After you have that copied down, flip it over and answer number 3 on the top of the back side. No. All right, number 4. The first part says find AB. Clean, what do they mean, find AB? Good, find the length from A to B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, the length of AB is 5. The second part says find point C different from A so that AB is congruent to BC. What does it mean to be congruent? Same length, right? Okay, so I need segment BC to be 5 also. C should be at 3 then? You guys agree? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now AB is congruent to BC because they both have a length of 5. Cool. Number 5. EG equals 100. Find the value of X, then find EF and FG. Number 5 here. EG equals 100. So the whole segment has a length of 100. We have to find the value of X, so we have to come up with an algebraic equation. 4x minus 20 plus 2x plus 30 equals 100. This is your segment addition postulate. This segment EF plus the second segment FG equals the whole segment. Then use your algebra skills. What's 4x and 2x? How about negative 20 and 30? 10. Nick, how do you move 10 to the other side? You subtract it over. 100 minus 10? 90. How do we get rid of the 6? Divide. And Ben, if you don't know that in the top of your head, what can you do to this fraction? Make it smaller. 3 goes into 90 how many times? 30. How many times does 3 go into 6? Okay, now it becomes 30 over 2. What's 30 divided by 2? 15. I mean, if you were too lazy to get out your calculator or something, you can do that. All right, we still have to find the length of EF. How are we going to do that? Plug it in. 4 times 15 minus 20. What's 4 times 15? 60 minus 20. What does FG have to be then? Yes. You could plug it in, or since you know that this plus this has to be 100, and the left side is 40, wouldn't that make this have to be 60? Yes, all right. Good deal. Go ahead and do the next one on your own. Z is the midpoint of segment XY. If Z is the midpoint of the segment, where is it located? In the middle. So what would I know about the left side and the right side? They're congruent. Good. Did you mark them congruent? Good. All right. The length of XY is 27. That would be the whole segment. We want to find just the length of XZ. If you want to call it W, you can sure and find a value for it. What are we going to do to find that length? Y divided by 2. Yeah, because a midpoint cuts it into 2 equal halves. What's 27 divided by 2? 13.5. All right. Midpoint cuts it in half. Number 7 has a couple parts to it. The first one, if xt equals 12 and xz equals 21, you need to find the length of tz. Should we add these values together, multiply them, divide them, subtract them? Subtract them, right? Yeah, we have to subtract these. Should I take 12 from 21 or 21 from 12? Oh, 12 from 21. 21 minus 12 gives us what? 9. TZ equals 9. Ben, I don't draw my pictures to scale. Do not rely on what it looks like, you guys. Okay? This side looks shorter than this side, but don't go off of what it looks like. Okay? Okay. Part B, we're using the same picture, but we have new information. Okay? So this time, xz, the whole segment, equals 3x. xt is x plus 3. And tz is 13. You need to find the length of xz. Equal to each other and said x plus 3 equals 13. Here should be your starting equation using your segment addition postulate. The first segment plus the second segment equals the whole segment. And then use your algebra. This becomes x plus 16 equals 3x. Subtract x to the right. 16 equals 2x. Divide by 2, and what does x equal? 8. Good. How are we going to find xz? What's 3 times 8? All right, xz equals 24. Because I want to know what the length of xz is, and xz is represented by 3x. All right, last one. Using the same diagram, we have new information. Suppose that t is the midpoint of xz. Okay. If it's the midpoint, then wouldn't the left side be equal to the right side? Okay, so I'm going to mark them congruent. You can use 1 tick mark in both. You could use 2 tick marks in both. You could use 3 if you wanted to. This as long as they're the same. Okay. Again, not drawn to scale, because if you look at it, t doesn't look like it's in the middle, but since I put those hash marks there, it is. Okay. You obey the little tick marks. xt equals 2x plus 11. And xz, that'd be the whole segment, is 5x plus 8. You need to find the value of x. Midpoint. This side is congruent to this side. What does tz equal? 2x plus 11. Because they're congruent, right? So wouldn't it be true to say that 2x plus 11, xt, plus 2x plus 11, tz, equals my whole segment, xz? Midpoint, it's right in the middle, it cuts it in half. Don't just start setting expressions equal to each other, because it's what you did on the previous one. Make sure you read the directions. Label your picture correctly. This would be 4x plus 22 equals 5x plus 8. Subtract 4x. Subtract 8. And you should have x equaling 14. All right. Here's your homework assignment.